Beneil, man, it's your time, right?
Yeah.
The fight you've been waiting for, Tony Ferguson, UFC 262. Man, like this is such a big one for the lightweight division, especially now that we know where Khabib stands, where everything stands. I mean, does this just feel like you're getting what you have been working so hard towards?
So it's, with I had assumed it was going to be Connor with Justin and Chandler, and then I thought it was going to be like a tournament style, and we were going to figure out who's going to be champion. I think this actually does clear things up a lot more. Me versus Ferguson, and then you have Oliveira versus Chandler. So, man, I'm so stoked. Just being in that spot shows it kind of puts a light on me as well. So they're like, oh, okay, Ferguson's here. Okay, who's this guy? And then you have the champions fighting. It puts a big light on me.
Yeah, and it's so funny. Coming off the last fight against Ferreira, Dana White was always saying in the interviews, he's like, we're trying to figure out, where things stand in the lightweight division. And he's like, that top 6 or 7. He's like, no, but I gotta say the top 9 because I can't keep disrespecting Beneil Dariush.
Yeah.
He belongs in that conversation. Did you guys talk at all that kind of led to him maybe having you in his mind a little more, or do you think it's just been the performances? What do you think kind of led to him saying that?
I mean, I haven't spoken with him. I hope it's just he just remembered me and he's like, oh crap, I've been forgetting about this guy. I mean, man, I have 19 fights in the UFC. This is gonna be my 20th fight, so I hope it's just a recognition thing and not so much someone speaking in his ear.
Yeah, how happy were you with the performance? I mean, I know you wanted to go out there against Diego in the rematch and make like a very definitive statement, and you said, I want to show the matchmakers that, this fight shouldn't have even been made. But it was another competitive one, bonus worthy, all that kind of stuff. Was it harder than you thought it would be going in there again?
I thought, well, I had a different game plan, and then I didn't really stick to it, but I thought the fight was awesome. I really enjoyed the fight. It's been a long time since I had a fight where I was just having fun. But I actually thought it was pretty clear as far as who won. I was surprised with the split decision, and Carlos showed me wrong. I thought I was going to go in there and I was going to just run through him, but I did not. Every round was close, but I thought I won all the rounds.
So coming off that, like where along the line did the Ferguson fight start to enter your radar of like, okay, this is something that could potentially happen? Of course, it gets confirmed.
I called for Charles, Chandler, or Ferguson. Charles because we were matched up. I had signed the contract. I had sent the contract in and I signed it. So I thought Charles, and then I said Chandler because he's new, but he's getting all this hype, and I'm not really sure why. So I said, okay, I'll go with Chandler or Ferguson. And I said, Ferguson can fight whoever he wants. Look at the man's record. To me, this man is a champion. So he can fight whoever he wants, but I'd be grateful if he picked me. And he ended up saying yes, so I'm super stoked about it.
Yeah, I think when the matchup was announced, a lot of people were surprised at saying like Tony's had a couple hard fights, and he's going in there with another really, really hard one against Beneil. Was any part of you surprised that you were the one that he ended up agreeing to?
Yes, but then I remember Tony's Tony. Tony's the type of guy. Tony's the man. I got a lot of respect for him. I don't know if a lot of people didn't say yes, so a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, so what do you expect out of him at this point? I mean, it seems like he's teaming up with Freddie Roach. He's going to have some new people around him coming into this fight. Are you just kind of expecting a similar version, or is he going to be maybe somewhat of a desperate fighter out there? Because I think this is a really important fight for his career.
So I don't really keep up with him and as far as what he's doing, but I try to look at the best Tony I've ever seen. And in my opinion, Tony who fought Hoffa, he looked very good. Tony who fought Kevin Lee was very good. Like, you had the Donald Cerrone fight. I try to watch those fights. And look at the best Tony. I don't try to look at the fights he lost too much because you don't get the best version. And I'm trying to look for the best version because I think he's going to come out his best version because it's do or die situation for him.
Yeah, and it's all kind of stacked together, with the title fight and all this stuff on the same card. It just seems like perfect kind of cohesion for this lightweight division. But were you surprised? I know you said maybe Chandler, you don't know why he's getting all the hype. Were you surprised that he's one half of that title fight?
I'm super surprised. I was shocked. I was like, really? I mean, I understand he's been in the sport for a long time, so I'm not disrespecting his pedigree, but in the UFC, you really haven't. You've had one fight with Dan Hooker, and it just looked to me like Dan Hooker didn't show up. So I thought they would at least try to get him somebody else, and I thought they were trying to get him Justin, and now we're here. So shocked.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for you though, right? Because you're going to be fighting on that same card. You get the win. Everyone's going to be, dates line up and all that kind of stuff. But
yeah, that's one of the things that I do like. It's just, I'm right there. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying about the spotlight. So they're fighting for the title, and then, oh, well, Dariush, Ferguson just fought, and kind of thing. So I like that part of it. But my division isn't like every other division. It's the most popular, I feel like, at the moment, and it's one of the most stacked, if not the most stacked. So rankings don't always mean what they should, and sometimes the numbers, the butts you can put in seats mean more. So I think it's going to be one of those factors. If they can get Dustin, Connor, or Justin to show up for the title, those guys will get a shot before me. But if not, I'll be fighting.
Yeah. Has it been frustrating at all being part of this division over the years? I mean, you had the winning streak earlier in your career. You kind of rebuilt. You're back on another winning streak now. But as far as like the title, I feel like even going back to like the Frankie Edgar, Gray Maynard draw that happened at like UFC 125, it's been kind of slow in getting the title defenses. Connor obviously had the belt, was doing his own thing for a long time. It seems like as far as the title actually being defended and getting that momentum, it's been a struggle for like half a decade now.
It's exactly what you just said. It's been a struggle, but the cool thing is, I'm not 20-something years old anymore. I'm a little bit more mature, and I can see things from everybody's side. I get why Dana does what he does. Man, Dana has people he has to answer to now. It's not like he just does what he wants like he did before. Fighters are trying to do the best for themselves. The UFC's trying to do the best for themselves, and everybody's trying to meet somewhere in the middle. And I think that's where we're at right now. We're trying to see how we can get all the butts in the seats and have the highest ranked guys fight for the title. I think we're more focused on the butts in the seats right now than we are for the rankings, but I'm hoping things will change with Khabib retiring, with this matchup being made for the title. I think it's going to make things more clear, I hope.
Yeah, do you think with Khabib being gone, it might take a little while for outsiders to look at that title as maybe the most legitimate, or the new champion is the right guy? And I think one reason with that Oliveira and Chandler fight that maybe it works is neither of those guys have fought Khabib before, so maybe you can kind of look at it as like, hey, these aren't two guys that were just dominated, like maybe say just Poirier and Gaethje if they had done that fight.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, and stylistically they do present something different for Khabib. But man, Khabib is the greatest lightweight of all time. We kind of have to sit there and be like, okay, it's true. Khabib's not here, so that's why we're dealing with this. Like Khabib, everybody's gonna say Khabib would beat these guys. Like I can, maybe I get the belt and defend my belt 5 times. Somebody will be like, no, but Khabib, and you just gotta live with it. You can't cry about it. Like Khabib did his thing, and now we're living through that.
And a couple last things. You mentioned being more mature now, and what can you point to? I mean, obviously, time and fights kind of goes into it, but you were on that nice run earlier in your career, and it seems like you are as good or better than you've ever been right now. Is there something specifically that you can attribute that to, or is that just the natural progression of a fighter's career?
You know what's interesting? I don't think, as at least for me, while I'm winning, I'm not really the type to mature too much. While I was winning, and when I had my first streak, I wasn't really maturing that much. Maybe I was getting better as a fighter, but I wasn't maturing outside the octagon. I had 2 years of just no victory. I had a loss, a draw, a loss. And I think that was the time where I matured the most, and I kind of understood myself and what's going on around me. And that for me helped me develop a lot, and that's what's helped me to be on this streak now.
Interesting. And I mean, if you keep this going, a win over Tony Ferguson, what kind of stuff are you calling for there? I mean, I know you said the spotlight is going to be there. I think the Poirier and McGregor trilogy fight, if that plays out, it's probably going to play a big factor in terms of maybe who gets the winner of that title fight. But is your goal here to go in there and make people come out of UFC 262 saying, look who the new champion is, and then look at what Beneil Dariush just did?
Yes. So one, I want to go in there and I want to dominate, so they can say like, why isn't this guy even talked about for a title? And then they start talking about me for a title, and then and see who's next. Because I don't know if I'm going to get a title shot off of this. I would like to, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. But who else is out there that I can fight also? That's another thing. I'm looking at the rankings, and it's not like people are coming off of wins in the top 10. So I'm gonna focus on Tony, and then I'm really gonna look at who's next. I'm gonna sit down with my coaches, with my manager. I'm gonna spend some time in prayer, and whoever's next is next. You know, I'm not trying to duck anybody. I fought people behind me. I fought people in front of me. If I have to fight someone behind me, we'll do that.